And there we go. I was gonna say. So, of course, first things first, we're gonna post the rules and I'm gonna talk. Because that's what we're here for. There we go. Now, of course, if this is your first time here, hello, my name is Shiro. And I definitely have a tendency to look more at my camera display than my actual camera to pretend that I can do eye contact. I'm a comic artist, and what I usually do on these weekly web shows is that I talk a little bit about anything artistic that happened in the past week, and then I move on to drawing my weekly webcomic bootleg cookie. I do it in front of you guys to make sure I stick to some sort of schedule. And hi Paul, your weekend, well, I hope your weekend is going well. My weekend is going well. And I wonder whose fault is that. So anyways, you guys probably noticed, if you're returning often, the goal changed because, thanks to Annan, Paul, we have reached the previous goal, which was for a box of Artix acrylic paint markers. That is now complete. Thank you. If I had a little button to push on so we can have some confetti going down. Hi, Coco. I would push that button. But I don't want to put the, I think it's Elgato in the goals just yet. Because, like, I have a lot of cheap stuff on my Throne wish list, and I have a lot of ridiculously expensive stuff. So this is more in the affordable range. I just feel it would help clear up my desk a little bit right now. Because this is a Munbin label maker holder, and it also holds the stickers, but under it instead of in the back of it. The one I have right now takes a lot of space. So that would help a little bit. Like, every time I need to use that label maker, and I need to use it surprisingly often, I have to take my phone, move it out of the way, take my sharpener, move it out of the way, and then I risk ripping the stickers as I pull the printer out, turn it on, push it back. This would just be easier. I also like that since I put it in my... that since I saw it, like, the first time I saw it, they decided to put it at, like, nearly $100, and I was like, no. So, at the price it is right now, it's much more believable. Give me a second, I am cursing after pretzel. When it's not one thing, it's another. Come on, baby, load. You are capable, I believe in you. Swear to God, what is the point of paying the license? So anyway. I did say I was going to talk a little bit. I did not post this. For obvious, the paper is shit and the rendu is horrible. But I did a little experiment this week. And some of it worked. Some of it definitely did not work. And I was less than pleased. Because this is like really, really thin and low quality watercolor paper. And I'll explain what I was experimenting with. I was experimenting with trying to do that technique where you got little spots of random color in a large color surface. I'm going to put that here. There we go. In a large color surface. But what I was mostly testing was these two that I ordered and received from AliExpress. Now, Let me be forward right away. I am not sponsored by AliExpress. And it's really a thing of, like, you take a chance with everything you buy there. So what did I get this time? Why am I holding two clicky pens? Because I ordered colored LEDs. Because I wanted to try out with some cheap supplies before I committed. Because I know that last time I tried this technique, I used my Prisma pencils. And I was like, that's good, but what if I actually had colored LEDs, like, what's their name again? Give me a second, guys. It is important to link back to the person whenever possible. Because the last thing I want is for people to think that I'm the one that came up with that technique. I'm gonna lower this a little bit. I kind of hooked my camera a little bit this week. Oh, I think I'm gonna get a copyright claim for this one. This really feels like later Final Fantasy-ish, what's playing right now. I'm getting Final Fantasy IX. I think I put you in art tips. Come on, I want a name. Boom! Perfect. Tenya Waniatsun. I'm going to write it down in the chat. I've found them on Instagram, so... Oh, I'm gonna move this. I will show this soon. I just want to make sure the technique that I'm experimenting with is properly credited. Perfect. Just gonna check the fan real quick. Still in decent RPMs. Yeah, it's been a problem lately. So, before I decided to commit, I got two of them. I didn't bother unwrapping the second one until I was done fiddling with this one. Tons of colors. So I can experiment with more than red and blue. Also, you'll probably notice that even after using them, they're still pointy. That is because I actually have a quote-unquote defective Icy Comic Draft Blue. I say defective because I am struggling with sharpening the lead of this one. And the body has grown sticky with age, and I hate that. But, pop, it comes with a built-in sharpener that I can actually use with these LEDs. So that's why I'm keeping it around, even if I'm not using it anymore, because I can't freaking sharpen it for some reason. And now it's installing all weird. So yeah, it worked pretty well actually, and the fact that I was able, like, to just sharpen the LEDs themselves instead of an entire pencil just to get a pointy end again, made things easier for me. Now the piece, it was literally, I believe her name is Sophia from one of the Dragon Quests. I want to say 4 chapters of the Chosen. Now, from here, she's pretty cute. Like, I didn't even look up a, like, I probably got, like, tens of thousands of details wrong because I didn't even look up a reference for her. Because the whole point was just to draw her to get her gigantic hair to play in it. But if you look at her from up close, oh my god. If anything, you guys are... Oh, there we go, she's focused. Yeah, stuff happened. And look at the bleed down there. And look at the texture on her skin. I hate it. But as you can see, the line art came out pretty good. And see, this is what I was trying to achieve. These spots here that are blended. This is bright yellow on her natural, clean, quote-unquote, green hair. Not this. Not whatever happened here. These were separated when I left them to dry. I don't know how they ended up bleeding into each other. Same here. Now, it would probably, like here, it kind of works. It would probably work if there wasn't an outline, if it was as smooth as the yellow spots in her hair. But no, it decided to separate. And I know a part of it is the paper's fault. The other part being me not being patient. But I know it's part of the paper's fault because if we take a look at the better paper from this sketchbook, if we look at Mogu that I did this past Wednesday, if Mogu would focus, thank you. See how smooth he is? And where it's rough, it is not as like feathery as on Sophia back there. Even here, if you look at his jewel, I painted his jewel red and then I lifted some color with water at the bottom over here to get the backlight. And it worked super well. That's still a cool experiment. Most of it looks great. Thank you, Paul. So yeah, whenever something doesn't come out good, it's mostly me. But sometimes it is the art supplies themselves. But it's mostly me. Because sometimes you can have expensive paper and it not coming out well. That's you. But sometimes the expensive paper itself was simply not made right. Now, that paper was cheap. That's the paper that came with the Team watercolors. The Team watercolors that I use in this sketchbook that also came from Team. So yeah, quality is kind of... Same goes for my art. My art, the quality of my art, and it's not always the art supplies. Now, another thing that's pretty cool, because as you guys know, this year is my 40th anniversary of picking up a Crayola and never putting it down in my life. Now, the official anniversary itself is actually 2 days after my birthday this year. It's going to be 40 years of art. And I already got my little anniversary gift from me to me. I got myself... Let me just get it out of the plastic. Because I'm not touching them till it's September and it's going to drive me crazy. Because I don't know if I'll be able to work well with these. I got myself some Shikishi boards. As you can tell, it's very golden on the edges, and there's even some silver sparkles on the back. It is... I don't want to touch it. It's mounted on a very thick backboard from what I'm seeing. Let's see if I can pop one out slightly so you guys can see the thickness of them. Now they look fancy, but what they're usually used for is autograph boards. So artists will sign this thing, and most of the time, sometimes they don't, but most of the time they will add a quick inked doodle. But it can also be used for more detailed art. And these cost me like $1.20 each. I got 20 in here. Once again proving that art supplies don't have to cost an arm and a leg. Get back there, you. There we go. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's a type of rice paper. But like I said, it's mounted on backboards, or I have no idea how my art is going to react on these, and I will find out in September. But isn't it exciting, honestly? I was looking for something. I was looking for ink sticks. I was looking for a red ink stick because 40th anniversary is apparently the anniversary of Ruby. One of many. There's like 4 or 5 anniversaries of Ruby. Apparently they don't expect you to live that long. But that was like I have so many colors. I would need something different. And like all the inks that I would find for Ruby, I would find that they were already extremely similar to a color I own in Liquitex acrylic ink called the quinacridone magenta. And then trying to get an ink stick here that I knew would be some kind of quality. Because I wanted a Kuretake one, of course, but then I went on Amazon Japan, and then the shipping. Woo! Okay. But then I found those on Before Comics, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. I'm okay with that. Starting to be a little hot here, but then again, I got like 3 layers on, so. Oh, give me a second, guys. And then we're going to go on to the screen. And we're going to start on the comic. Nothing new on the art drama side, really. Oh, Jupe! Hello! That's a nice surprise! And show up just as I take a layer off of my clothes. If any Twitch bot is listening, or Twitch moderator is listening, there will be no nudity happening. I am just taking the middle layer out eventually. Yes. Stephanie last name that I will not say on the stream to keep your anonymity, but I remember. There. And if I'm still hot, I still got another top under here. So I just want to popped in to bring support. Thank you. It's appreciated. Yeah. Alright, so gonna move this. I used it to cute stream avatars. Thank you. They're all Final Fantasy VI. Ripped from the iOS port before the Pixel remaster. I'm just gonna scoot that up here. Accidentally make it full screen. Get it back down. Accidentally make it full screen. But this is the part where I accidentally ignore you guys. I'm gonna try not to, but like you guys are gonna be on this screen and I'm gonna be on that screen, so I'm also gonna put my phone not to go on auto lock because like the application is supposed the companion mode for the Clip Studio application. Oh, that's better. Jupe had a little soldier earlier, but she put herself as a Moogle, and that is way better. Also, since I updated to Sequoia, I've had to keep an eye on my fan whenever I stream, because apparently streaming is very hard on my updated Mac. Switching to YouTube so I can also chat with Paul. This is why I offer options. Oh, this is small. This is from, yeah. I'm also going to change the color palette I'm working with. You think I got enough color palettes? I don't think so. Just settling down in Thunder Bay. It's been a culture shock. Ooh, details. Yeah, I'm pretty much on the side, huh? I'm gonna knock on some wood very carefully. Everything's going fine right now. Hope that you get adjusted and settle in soon, and it's awesome. Also, for curious, my portrait commissions are sold out right now. They will reset at the beginning of next month. I want a sneak peek. I want a sneak peek. I want a Facebook sneak peek. Now, usually when there's people's art happening on the stream, I like to show it on stream, but this is a work in progress, so I'm not gonna. And for those of you that remember when I used to do that, because sometimes I get more than 2 people on stream, I would ask like permission like 6, 7 times before I did. I'll send to you too. Yay! Look, I don't know if it's clear, but I have this obsession with art in general. Oh yeah, now I just remembered something. Well, for me it's exciting. For some of you it's probably gonna be, oh my god. It isn't a secret. Could be. I can show it? Oh, that's nice. Good, I will. Don't mind if I do, even. So, this week, the Fleischer Animation Restoration Group, I do believe they have a YouTube account. Show it here. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna open it as another open image in new tab. There we go. Come on. I love it already. Did it. Did it. Did it. Did it. Did it. Did it. Look at that! It isn't very exciting. Oh, that's gorgeous. Look at the detail. I can zoom. Okay, so this is already right here. More patience than I do. I use a brush when working digitally. But look at the texture over here. The slightly faded scales. So like that, the coloring is detailed but not busy. You know? And we got some flats here, and at the would you look at that? I see 2 tree white artifacts. And more artifacts here. Shiro, you're being a dick. Oh, but I love it. And the chicken. And the little crystal going down here. You can see the difference in the texturing between the dreads and the chainmail. See, I have like 0 imagination to dress up my characters. So this is always impressive. Like, I don't know if you know, but, like, one of my most popular characters, Taco, all he wears is a pair of shorts made out of burlap and a rope for a belt. And the outfit that I draw Risa in the most is literally the merchant outfit from Dragon Quest 2, I want to say, or Dragon Quest... I think it's Dragon Quest... Dragon Quest... Hey, Carlis! Dragon Quest 3 is the one with jobs, isn't it? La 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 la. See, this is why I hide my Twitch streams behind an 18+. At least I hope it's still there. Because this shit happens. And how appropriate, I'm doing a comic about difficulty in pronunciation in another language. There are no vets in Thunder Bay, so when I had a cat emergency, I had to driven out to Druid. There are no vets in Thunder Bay? Like, we have 2 vets where I live, and we're not big enough for 2 vets. Oh my goodness. Then again, I understand 8-hour round. Like, if I want to go to the nearest Walmart, that's a 6-hour drive, 12-hour drives round trip. We usually sleep there. Well, not at the Walmart itself, but you know what? For those who thought for half a second that we do sleep at the Walmart, keep imagining that. It's funny. For the sake of being nice in the chat, that's all I'll say about that. None of the vets have room. Yeah, because me personally, I have zero problem about complaining about the current climate. The people who have a problem with that are YouTube and Twitch, and if we get political, then somebody's gonna get butthurt, and I will get my channel restricted and or suspended. And I'm already on thin ice because I have bots on my ass constantly copyright claiming the music that I pay a fortune for. Oh, I'm very salty about that. Very, very salty. One of the vets offered to take him, but they would have charged me $600 just to walk through the door. Jesus, Murphy. But that's another thing, though. My sister, she's got this horse. Okay, like, on paper, it's a dog. But she's got this horse. Bilingual horse, it barks. So I rented a car to get to Dryden. $40 for $600. Yeah. And, like, he's getting up there. Like, they got him as a puppy, and now he's kind of unruly, to say the least. And a horse. He's not a Great Dane, but he's not far. And she needed to have him, you know, getting rid of his trouble puffs. And she went to the vet, and they quoted her $800. Now, I did tell her that when I was a kid, like I would say around 9, my social worker brought me to the vet to see a behind the scenes, because I was... No, that's the thing. He's not a Great Dane, but we're pretty sure there's some in him. But he's not a Great Dane, but he's huge. And one of the things, because I was interested in being a vet when I was a kid. And we went back there, and the thing that they showed us was actually taking care of a male bichon, if you know what I mean. Now, I'm not saying that that stopped me from wanting to be a vet. It's just that I got interested in drawing more. What I did say to my sister was, I know how it's done. I could do it for cheaper. Like, I remember perfectly how he did it. Plus, when I learned that at $800, all they do is snip. They keep the testicles there, which would then keep the behavior there. And then, like, what is the point? That dog is living in the middle of the woods. Who is he going to impregnate, in a coyote? But they need to calm him down, basically. He's a very nervous little guy. Very jumpy little guy. I'm pretty sure, like, he's taller than my sister. My sister is like an inch shorter than me. Half an inch, yeah. We're about the same height. So yeah. His name is Hank, for Hank Williams III, But I call him Hank Williams the Turd. Yeah, that's why the pregnant pause. And that's why the pun with pregnant pause. See? See? I can't talk, but I can do linguist jokes. I'm capable of doing some thinking in there when I want. Sadly, I do not want often. I can be funny, I can be entertaining. It happens. Just don't blink. So, as I was saying, the Fleischer Restoration Group this week recently got their hands on a reel, REEL, of a certain movie. A certain adult movie animated in 1929. Now, my little part-time art history heart was all at Twitter at the news. Like, I know the title of this movie. I actually have a copy on DVD. And I do believe it's up. Is it on the Internet Archive? Or is it on that other one? Because it is important historically. But, like, what if it's like a complete reel? Now, I really doubt that it would put a credit roll at the end. Because they would not put their names on these types of movies. Like, even if these streams are 18 and up, I'm trying to be as family friendly as possible, unless you start with the cussing. Gonna go lie down, friend. Okay, go rest. Thank you for showing us your whip. Me too, after an 8-hour drive to try and help my kitty, I would need about a nap or 10. Draw all the things. See you later. Bye. Well, that was a nice visit, and we got some art. Did I forget to put myself on? There we go. Fixed. So I haven't been arting, but you saw my plants. I saw the plants. Coco is currently micro gardening. I saw the plants, but I had to look really close. So I am actually looking forward to seeing the results when they're done growing, because I've seen small sprouts. Those are small sprouts. I think they're smaller than the sprouts you get on chia pets. You know, I haven't really tried any of the new stuff in the V4. Like, the only thing I have used really from V4 is like the filter lens blur, because it looks really nice. And I need to use it more in more difficult stuff, because like the detailed stuff I've been doing lately, it's literally just practicing with the watercolors in this thing. I will fill this booklet. Nobody tried to guess, really. Well, one person guessed out of all of the social medias where I posted, tried to guess the next game series now that I finished with Breath of Fire 1, and somebody guessed Breath of Fire 2. Technically, they're right. I do plan eventually on drawing some Breath of Fire 2, but I like to try and space out the styles between games. So I'm not going to do Breath of Fire 2 immediately afterwards. The other reason is that I don't really want to do like them in order or in sequels, because if I would be doing them in sequels, then I would have looked up some art of Surge and Kid and Magiel from Radical Dreamers, and then I would be stuck to draw all the playable characters of Chrono Cross, and that's 46 characters, and I do not care enough about that game to try that. So yeah, the maximum size of a party will be 14 and or 16. Depends. 17. Depends if I add the temporary playable characters. Because yes, I do intend to do Final Fantasy VI soon, but that's not who I'm going to draw starting next Wednesday. The packet says it'll be ready in 5 days once sprouted. Produce is expensive, so I wanted to try this stuff. Why not? Pourquoi Rachid? Makes you something to do, and you might have a nice salad when you're done. I'm all for salad. I like salad. Depends what kind of salad. If it's just like iceberg in a bowl, nah, mix that stuff up a little bit. You know. Suddenly I'm dyslexic. The stuff I find out as I get older in my 40s. Give me a second. Wow, it was so worth updating. Because also the Wacom wanted an update. And now the tablet kind of freezes randomly. It doesn't happen often, but it happens. I have this thing that sometimes I work like too fast for electronics. Like, on Friday evening, I was playing some Trials of Mana. And I was at the Harpy boss. And suddenly, the game did not freeze. But my characters froze. Because the rest of the game, the music, perfectly fine. The Harpy, no problem. She was moving, no problem. And she destroyed me, no problem. But I couldn't move my characters, and I couldn't switch to another character in case one character was, like, jammed in some pixels or something. Which happened a couple times in Secret of Mana. Now, here's the thing. This was the Switch port. The 2D Switch. The 2D Switch port. The 2D Switch port. Because I don't have Trials of Mana for SNES. I know it wasn't ported. That would mean a bootleg cartridge. And I know it's not because I suddenly ran out of batteries in my controllers. Because I could go back to the Switch menu, no problem. Navigate the menu, no problem. So it was literally a bug in the game that I triggered somehow. And usually when stuff like this happens is because I play too fast. And usually what would happen would usually the whole game crashes. But recently I've been breaking a lot of games. Dad is in the basement right now. He just opened the freezer, I know, because there's a bag of peppers in there. And suddenly my studio smells absolutely delicious of peppers. Nice cold peppers. Mm. I may have read like only a couple pages out of my Nate Pieco's, assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly, lettering book. But if there's one rule that I remember, is to separate your thoughts whenever there's a period or an exclamation point or stuff like that, or else you end up with a big paragraph. Cut it up a little bit. I need to start reading that book. Like, I read the introduction and I read a couple of the first pages. My place smells of mutton. I made lamb last night. You know, I don't know if I ever tried lamb. I know my dad cooks a lot of it in the summer where he works, but he hates it. The meat is tough or something. Mom's hair currently looks like Selma Bouvier from The Simpsons, except Mom is adorable and cute and takes care of herself. But when I say Mom made like a cartoon level face at Dad when he said that. Like, she went completely silent and the glare. Okay, the fan is starting to get a little high. But like, as long as I don't hear an airplane going by, it's still fine. Like, I have the fan set to go from 1200 to 2700. It's at around 1900 right now, so that's not so bad. Like, I can do literally anything else on this computer, and it oscillates between 1200 and maybe 1500 for a couple of seconds. So I have still not swatched or tried out my something Newton. Winsor & Newton inks that Mom found. Like, I was thinking of getting a new bottle of yellow and black. I think I have canary yellow and drawing black. But I want to know if it's worth it first, if I like the inks. Now, I might tackle that in a future bootleg cookie, but I'm gonna talk about it now. The reason Mom is annoyed. There are actually several reasons. I'm gonna drop you guys a couple more fairies. So, when Mom and Dad met, Mom absolutely could not stand Dad. Like, it was still recent. Her a breakup with the biological stain. I mean, no, that's exactly what I meant. And oops. One of their mutual friends, I will not say who, but she was name dropped at their wedding, absolutely insisted that Mom meet this guy. And she met the guy. The perpetually drunk guy. She was not pleased. And Mom was not the only French woman that Dad was wooing at the time. Like, on that same night, Mom was literally sitting in his lap, and another French woman, that once again I will not name, came up to Dad and was all, like, seductive and low voice, and she was like, "Papa Shiro, will you drive me home?" And Dad, the idiot, was like, "Yep," slap Mom on the ass to get her to get up to go and drive that other woman home. Oh, Mom was pissed. Of course I can laugh now because clearly it worked out. I mean, but that was only one of the many things that originally pissed off Mom. Because that's another thing. Like, Mom is perfectly bilingual now. I am perfectly bilingual now, despite what you guys hear during the live streams. But when she met Dad, she was unilingual French. He was unilingual English. Now, 40 years later, She's bilingual, he's unilingual English. He knows French, he understands French, but like me with my Spanish, the French that comes out is not the same as the French that goes in, you know? Like, I understand Spanish, I can read Spanish, no problem, I know what's going on. That's why whenever I can, I play games in Spanish. Because I figured that's how I learn most of my English. So it would only make sense to play RPGs in Spanish whenever I can. So one of the things that annoyed Mom was that she couldn't understand what Dad was saying. But then again, after having lived with the man for 40 years, maybe it wasn't the English the problem. Maybe it's the fact that they all mumble in that family. I don't see the point in drawing myself with eyelashes anymore, unless I'm making a very cartoony face for the simple reason that my eyelashes are going the way of the dodo, like my eyebrows. I have eyebrows. They're just blonde, and my eyelashes are going that way. The final straw that not only settled that my mom was very annoyed with my dad, but that also made her decide that maybe she should keep that one. He drove her home at either 3 or 6 in the morning. It was very, very early in the morning, drunk. And she was beyond herself with how pissed she was, because not happy with that. Did he bring her home like ridiculously late in a time before internet and smartphones? And like driving from where I live now to where I used to live, my grandparents' house, that's an hour. That's an entire hour of not being able to contact your strict parents. So Mom was sure she was going to get skinned alive. Because who meets her at the door in the early, ridiculous early morning but her mom, my grandma, and me in her arms? So while Mom was probably pissing herself, she was too angry to be scared. Because on top of that, Mammy looked her in the eye and said, "That's a good man." Mom let her have it. Like, what do you mean he's a good man? He's pissed drunk. He drove drunk. I don't want to hear anything else about that guy. And Mammy was like, "Yes, but he drove you home. You're here. You're safe." My sprouts doubled in size since I sent that first pic. Oh my god. When was that first pic taken? So because she had Mammy's approval, she thought maybe I should give that guy a fifth chance. And the rest, as they say, is history. And now I'm fat. Around 8 a.m. Holy shit, that is fast. I don't like sitting in dining room chairs, but I gotta admit they're very easy to simplify. Set photo for comparison. Holy shit, you're right! Like, you guys can't see this, but when she showed me the first picture, like, literally, there is nothing in that pot. And the picture she just showed me now, like, there's a lot more plants and they're, like, way out of the ground. Man, they weren't kidding. Somebody's gonna complain GMO. Well, it's probably GMO, but here's the thing. GMO does not necessarily mean poison. Like, even the bio stuff is GMO if you get down to brass tacks. Because we manipulated a lot of food. We manipulated cucumbers, tomatoes, bananas. They've been under a grow light. Well, even if. That's still fast. Like, I've got a sun lamp right there. I've been living under a sun lamp for like 20 years. I haven't grown a fucking inch. I'm not GMO. I could definitely try to grow. Yeah, yeah. Exactly, like you said. Ahem, 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 ahem. If any Twitch or YouTube mod are listening, we're joking. So freaking tiresome. Because of course I cuss a lot whenever I can, but it's usually a bit past the start of the streams. Because we have to keep everything as family friendly as possible. Even if it's an 18 and up stream. Because we have to think of the most vulnerable people in our midst. Okay, we have to think of the most vulnerable advertisers. Yeah, but Shiro, what if you're trying to get some if you're trying to get some advertisers or some sponsors or stuff like that? Well, here's the thing. If I am looking for sponsors, I am surely not looking for like being sponsored by Ford or stuff like that, because what I'm talking about is the advertisers that force their ads on your videos, not the ones that you yourself make the ad. But before, a word from our sponsor, like Uber Eats or stuff like that, you know? That I don't mind those. But it's the fact that you have to change your complete vocabulary in case, because of YouTube sponsors, not your own sponsors. When it's your own sponsors, they got a contract, they tell you shouldn't be saying this thing or that thing, and I would be like, sure. But it's the in case, and that's why you got like true crime podcasts on YouTube that have to use the words unalive, and a lot of what I hear is, we're not gonna tell you what happened, but it rhymes with terrible thing, you know? If anyone here eats those microwave noodles in a tray, the trays make nice seed starter tray, just poke some holes. Oh, that's nice. See, and we're learning shit. If you've just joined us, I'm growing salad green sprouts. Unless you're addicted to juicing, it's innocent. Yeah, I'm not really a gardening NB myself. Like, the most gardening I do is I will ink. When I said I was obsessed with art, I will water my mother's plants when she can't. That's about it. I will ink my mother's plants. Yeah, I'm sure she'd be thrilled. It did what to my plants? I don't know why I make a voice when I imitate Mom. We have the exact same voice. Exact same voice. Like, not happy with having the exact same face. I know when I hit my 60s, I'm going to look like that. And honestly, I feel like I won the genetic lottery. Like, I don't know if Paul saw my mom, but Coco saw my mom. Like, I do not deserve to be that cute at 60. And, like, I knew that Mom and I had the same voice on the phone. But I don't feel like we have the same voice in real life. Like, I know what I sound like to myself, and I know what I sound like from the outside, because sometimes I will listen to myself recorded, like on the streams and stuff like that. I don't look like my mom at 40. Thank Jeebus. No, you're cute, you. You're precious. For those of you who haven't seen Coco in real life, you guys are missing out. Something serious. Like, seeing Coco, even in picture, will water your crops, clear up your skin. Haven't seen your mom, just a cookie version. There. That's Mom. That's the difference. She has curly hair up to here. There you go, there's Mom. Sounds like I'm kidding, but once you see a picture of her, Paul... But like, I heard myself recorded, and I don't feel like we have the same voice. I do sound higher pitch on recording than I sound to myself, but I've always felt that Mom has a natural, even higher pitch than that. And then a couple of weeks ago, Mom called Dad on his cell phone. He put her on speakerphone. And then I heard her, and for the first time I was like, that's me! And I've heard my mom on the phone plenty of times. And she sounded like Mom, but on speakerphone she sounded exactly like me. I had the same feeling as when she showed me that picture of her as a teenager in high school. And I was like, I know this is not me, because she had short hair in high school, and I was the one with long hair. And I was like, I know this is not me, but holy shit, this is me. And like I said in the comic that I did about that, I can't really portray how much that was my fucking face on that 1970s picture. Imagine Shiro with longer perm and visible eyebrow. Coco. Forgot to put it on Vector. Vector Eraser is like one of my most favorite tools. Oh my god, I just remembered the day I learned the difference between Vector and Raster. I was in high school. It was my first time on a Mac. And it was what was going to be my physics teacher that taught me the difference in the third floor computer lab. I remember he would also make me play educational games on that Mac. I remember there was an aquarium and you were supposed to do some stuff with the fish and stuff like that. And then he got me hooked on Adobe Photo Deluxe for Mac, and then I got it for Windows later. And then he had me learn to edit photos on that. And then he had me work on the school paper. And he also had me work on the flyers for one of the local churches, because the guy was actually really religious. Like, I'm not kidding, the guy looked like a monk with a tonsure and everything there, but for him it was a bald spot, but he let his hair like grow down here, and he had a very subtle comb over. And by subtle I mean he had like 5 hairs left that he would comb over. Like Homer Simpson thing going on up here there. I don't know if he's still alive though. Like, he was already old when he taught my Aunt Lisa. Aunt Lisa is way past her 60s. She's 6 years older than Mom, so she's like 67, 68. Is that a Christmas song that's playing right now? That sounds Christmassy. Yeah, look at that. It's a new one though. Look, we're like in the middle of April. It's snowing right now where I live. Last thing I need right now is a Christmas song. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of those people that love Christmas. Like the decoration and the presents, like literally in my house, We're always looking for that one present that that will make the other person cry ugly tears. But like once January 2nd hits, leave me the fuck alone with Christmas music. That snow is no longer whimsical. Like, I will not even tolerate the remix. Have a hot, hot Christmas in the middle of summer, okay? Along with that, I will not tolerate summer music during the winter months either. If I start hearing inner circle, no, 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 no. Now is not the time. And don't get me wrong, I love me some la 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 long. October is too late. It is September. We are retiring the Beach Boys. I am very, very picky about my music. In a way. In another way, I'm not picky at all because I will sing along to pretty much anything I can sing along to. And some I can't because I sing along to a lot of Weird Al. And he has some songs that he literally wrote specifically that he wouldn't be able. And what counts as summer music? Basically anything that's tropical. Like Beach Boys, reggae, Red Red Wine, but the remake, the Macarena, of course, party music, anything that has the name of the dance associated to it, the lambada, la bamba, the limbo. But not necessarily everything that's been on an album called Party Mix. Because Chumbawamba doesn't count. All Stars doesn't count. 1 Week doesn't count. Like if a ukulele shows up, or some snare drums, or coconuts are mentioned. I have a track on my phone because I have a couple of songs from the Beach Boys, but not the entire album. And I have a track that's badly cut. So the song will end and it'll have the beginning of another song, but I didn't download that other song. So at random, when I'm listening to my summer mix on my phone, like a Beach Boys song will end, and all you hear is, ah, and then it goes for a completely other song. And it's not a bad download, guys. That song was bought from the App Store, like from iTunes. So the song Mele Kalikimi Maka is out. I'll take your word for that. I probably said a slur in Hawaiian. If so, I apologize. Christmas song was very tropical. I knew somebody would find a loophole. Because you know what also sounds kind of tropical? Feliz Navidad. And Feliz Navidad passes, so I would need to hear it to see if it's more tropical or more Christmassy. See where I would put it. But if the theme is Christmas, like Feliz Navidad, then it would go in the Christmas slot. Because I did say earlier that I didn't want to hear Hot Hot Christmas in the summer, and that is literally just a Christmas remix of the song Hot Hot Hot. So it would probably go in the Christmas slot. I'm thinking about this like really seriously in my head. And I know I'm drawing ourselves with our cell phones a lot at the dinner table, but it's not like we ignore each other. Like, literally, Mom will watch TV over my shoulder during supper time. And me, I figure as long as I'm paying attention. Because really, I will check my messages and be like, not work, I can ignore that. Like, even when I put my phone on the table, I usually put it on Do Not Disturb. I don't know if either of my parents use their little side menu to put their phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't think so for Dad, at least, because sometimes his best friend will text him. But like I said, it's not like we ignore each other at the table. If we find something cool on the phone, we'll share it with the others. But we kind of have to have the phone at the table anyway, because then we start talking about something and we need the details. Somebody has to Google, and usually it's me because I type fast. Case in point, Dad, we were talking about making quesadillas at home because the local restaurant changed owners and apparently the food is not as good. So we were discussing making some of the recipes at home. That's what happens when you marry a chef. And then your child studies to be a sous chef. fan is a little loud, but it's normal loud for when it's forcing like that. Yeah, I am a bit, like hyper-monitoring when fans aren't behaving. I've had a computer explode by my head, and I would much rather not repeat the experience. And now to color my eyes. A color so close to my skin that sometimes the color selector can't tell the frickin' difference. I gotta love that pale life. Gotta be nice and tidy. We're trying to pretend we're professionals here. Another week waiting for the release of Off for the Switch. I pre-ordered my copy as soon as I could, and I'm still waiting on it. And all they announce in the newsletter is, we got a new composer, we got a new composer, we got a new composer. Fantastic. At the same time, I understand that it's a big deal because they no longer have the license to use Conrad's music, and Conrad has been off the internet since 2012, last time I checked. And Mortis can't contact him to ask for a new license for the Switch version, so they've been rewriting the music. At least Pepper Steak still exists in the original game and on the soundtrack. If I remember, when I downloaded the soundtrack to put on my phone, I downloaded it from Conrad's, Elias Conrad Coldwood, I think his name is, from his website. But I think his website is down now. But it's possible he's well, not he's still active, but it's possible he has a SoundCloud and that's still up. I don't know. All that to say, I really like Pepper Steak. Plus, they change a lot of stuff in the game. And I didn't even play the game in its entirety because I have a copy and I have to use a program to get it to run because it was made for Windows only, so I can't even get it on Steam because the Steam version is also Windows only. But I've watched a lot of Let's Plays of it. So once I get it, it will be like trying a new version of a game that I know. You know? Thank you for a great show, Shiro. I think your comic looks awesome. Thank you, Paul. I'm starting to think that Paul has programmed a bot to say that after a certain time period has passed. Yoshiro, you ever think of making a palette for the dining room chairs? Nah. Yeah, I'm doing Dad's phone all black because he has a black phone and he has like a transparent cover on it. So it's not really like there's a point of making a nice design. Mom has glitter on hers. So that's why I at least bought her doing some on hers. we're almost done. I'm gonna save real quick and have a little sippy because staying hydrated is important. It's water. By the way, I got both my tax rebates already. That's good. I got mine announced to me. I don't know when I'll get them. See, 18 and up live stream, folks. We're talking about taxes. You know, that's something that always made me laugh. When younger people complain that they should have learned tax in school, how to do your taxes. That's not what makes me laugh, because that is a, you know, that's a normal request. But the adults always say, what's the point? You wouldn't have listened. And you think we listen more in math, or kids that aren't interested in history. Like, you think kids listen to begin with. At least with taxes, would be something like, we literally had a class that would teach you how to get a job. Why not put the tax forms in that course? We may not listen to it and we may have bad grades, but we will still have the textbook with the simplified explanation in it, so we get to use it as an adult. I'm totally going to teach your kiddos about taxes. Come get me. Like, I struggle like hell to do math, so I just give my stuff to my accountant. But me, it's because I have a math issue. So yeah, the thing that makes me laugh is on the part of the adults that said that we didn't teach you because you wouldn't have listened at the time. It's not like we listen more to the other subjects. Like, yeah, I loved history and I even liked geography. And it's true that a lot of the stuff that they teach you, there's a good chance you're not going to use later on. Yes, you're going to use a lot of, like, basic math, but unless you specifically go for a major in history, it's not really gonna come up what were the names of the 3 boats of Christopher Columbus. Tax you're going to use eventually. But sadly, some of us, taxes could be part of math classes. Doing a sample return to get the maximum rebate could be a class project instead of what we did, making a new box for a 12-pack of pop. That sounds like geometry. I wasn't too bad at geometry. Seriously, Pretzel? Seriously, first, you're not gonna do jack shit about your desktop app? And now your web-based app is going to stop at random because it doesn't feel like it. Yeah, I am going to keep complaining live about it until something is done. But once again, here is my problem. I'm not saying this is everybody's problem, but it is my problem. With tax forms, I tend to zone out. And when I say I don't do it on purpose, oh my goodness. Like I can feel myself zone out and I try. Oh my god, do I try? But it's like overwhelming information, you know? Like I get that they have to put in all this legalese to make sure that you know that you're being fucked over. But like, can I have a version for ADHD? Like Tax for Dummies? Like, just put the numbers here, here, and here. But no, I know that legally they can't do that. I'm just too cheap to pay a preparer. No, I have to invest. I have no choice. Because I'm that type of ADHD that if I don't understand, I will not understand. I want to understand, but my brain goes, no, fuck you. My brain will stop. I will feel it stop and resist like a spoiled brat. Like the functionality of the frickin' Pretzel.rocks website. We're almost done. Just need to add a couple more backgrounds. They're making me question the sunk cost fallacy because I recently paid for the license again for this year. But that's the thing, I feel I need some music because I know sometimes I will zone out while I work and stop talking. But when you're live, you have to keep talking. And again, when you're streaming, like people, Twitch and stuff like that, they expect you to stream regularly and more than once a week. Preferably, if I just base myself on TikTok, they want you to do some content every day. And I'm sitting here, do you realize I am 42 years old? I'm not necessarily a content creator. I'm a comic artist. I'm an illustrator. Because not happy with that. They also want you to edit and make some shorts and make some clips and post and post and post and post. Like, dude, sometimes I just want to do shit for myself, you know? Alright. Well, the French side-eye does not have a border. Let's fix that right away. Oh, that's a new one. Alright, let's take a look-see. Yeah, we're good for today. Despite my constant irritation at pretzel.rocks. But we're done. So you guys know what that means. If I click on the right screen, there we go. And it's time for the end screen. So that means it is time to thank our supporters on Patreon, Ko-fi, and every other place I'm being supported on. Extra special caramel drizzle, rainbow sprinkle, chocolate syrup thanks to our many supporters: Amber B, Paul K, Miss Innovis, Sir E, Uttered, Bad at Multiplayers, Matthew H, Blah 6, Winter the Kitten, and the part-time support booties, Super Dude at 808, and Rocket Mouse. Your continued support is immensely appreciated. Next live stream is going to be next Sunday, on the 20th of April at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's my time, not your time. Maybe your time. I don't know you. I don't know your life. Hope you guys had fun watching me draw this. A lot of fun drawing it. I'll see you guys next week. I love you all. And bye-bye.